Okay, some of my memorable colleagues. I think I'd have to start with Rod McClintock. When I first got hired on the Wednesday before school starts, Tuesday before school starts. Somebody had just quit, so I'm going into the principal at the time who's not in a really good mood, and I'm being interviewed for a job. But he was not happy because, 3 days before school starts. So they hired me, and I was in the center hex, where Mr. Carlotti is at. I was in F9, which I think now is 909, and there was 4 other teachers in there with me. 3 other teachers. 4 other teachers in there. One of them was Rod McClintock. Rod's had been at Foothill for a while. Great sense of humor, and like I said, he's the one that every day said to me, "Boy, you're not doing anything extra this year. You are so lucky." But he would start out every day in the middle of the hex. A lot of times we would all just, before school started, everybody's just in their doorway just talking. Oh, another day. But he would come out with some of the craziest things, very sarcastic. But he would put all of us in a great mood and laugh. And he was also, at the time, he had the, I don't know what they call it, the fake gun to start the track meet and stuff. So he always entertained us with all kinds of stories, and he had been a fireman, and he had done some really crazy things. He would get us started, and the next to him was Mr. John Beal, who had taught English here for so many years, and he had real dry humor. I mean, it was a great way to start the day. I think Mr. Carlotti might have been in the hex at the time, I'm not sure. He kind of came and went. Sometimes he would scare me. I think, uh-oh. And then I found out, I don't want to embarrass him, but he really is just like a big cuddly teddy bear. His bark is worse than his bite. But they were the ones who kind of guided me and told me, what you should do, what you shouldn't do. Maybe you should flunk people, because if you flunk too many people, you might get in trouble. Work with the kids. The most memorable moment for me, though, was when they hired me, I was in this thing called Project 90. And these were the kids that were kind of at risk academically or economically, They needed some extra help, which was fine. And I was with I was the history teacher, there was a math teacher and an English teacher. And the math teacher and the English teacher, it's like the first week of school, and they're going, "Well, you can't go on the field trip with us." And I thought, field trips are fun, right? I really want to go on a field trip. And they said, "Well, you can't go because you haven't been here long enough. They haven't run you through the system." I go, "Well, where are you guys going?" Okay, they were taking the really, really at-risk kids that might end up going in the wrong direction. They were taking them to the prison, and I'm not sure if it was Wasco, or I think it might have been the Wasco prison. Kind of like a scared straight, if you know what those are like. And they said, "You can't go. We're taking, we're going to leave these other kids here." And I go, "So what you're telling me is you're going to take the really bad kids, and I have to stay here with the good kids." I'm fine with that. They thought I'd be so upset that I had to stay behind, but I was fine with it. Some of the other people, I don't know if any of you have had Mrs. Seiler. She teaches, she's in the I don't know if she's still in the lower hex and stuff, but she teaches English, ELDs and stuff, and I to this day, she's been out here about 20 years. I call her Reba. She's from Texas. She's got a little bit of a twang. I think one of the more memorable colleagues is Teresa Hudson, who was the activities director for about 20, 30 years here. You might see her. She comes on campus every once in a while. You really needed to learn to say no to her, and I never did. I've had pies thrown in my face at rallies. I've had chocolate syrup dripped on me. She'll say, "Oh, this is a good idea. We should do this with the kids at the rally." And we're like, "Really?" But she had so much energy, and she still does to this day, and she got me involved in a lot of the stuff at Foothill. I'm trying to think of any other memorable colleagues that I've had over the years. Trying to think of some that might still be here or not. Ned is one. You never knew with Coach Fermenter what he was going to say. I don't know if any of you have had the privilege of meeting that gentleman. He write poems every so often that were pretty interesting and funny. He would, still is pretty energetic and get it, you know, and again, another diehard Foothill fan, and he would do anything for Foothill. I think those are the people that really, I remember most of the ones that were so active and so pro Foothill. Because the whole time I was here, I even had my two younger kids came here to Foothill, and we lived way over by Cal State. But I just felt that the teachers, the people that were working here, I think really care about the kids. I cared about the kids, and you know what? I had fun. I know you don't expect a teacher to say that, but coming to school was kind of fun. I never knew what some of my students were going to say or do. There's been so many great teachers that have gone through here. When I started here, Elaine Conley was an English teacher here. She just wrote her first book. That lady never had a frown on her face. I don't care, every day she'd walk in with flowers. I'd see her walking across campus. She had flowers and a smile. She loved teaching English. She loves the Foothill kids. You could go talk to her and you couldn't be in a bad mood afterwards. You know, that's a big indicator for me. I don't want to be around a teacher that's always grumpy and in a bad mood. I want, you know, we all have good days and we all have bad days, but I'd rather have a good day and try and start out with a smile. Coaching, Paul Contreras. His dedication to athletics here just drives me crazy. I don't know if any of you guys are on cross country or track. He's small but powerful. But I was in the middle hex, so I really got to know who was in the hex. You really got to be a family. We had, I think they still have some really good cooks in that center hex. I don't know if any of you guys are ever in there when they're cooking. But we used to do birthdays. We'd have a birthday lunch for them. Everybody just kind of contributed. It really was a family atmosphere. And sometimes I wish I could sneak over here and get in on some of it. Gosh, I'm trying to think of all the different, 20 years just trying to think through my mind. There was some retired, we used to have the principal secretary, Linda Pennington. I think she was like a second mom to everybody on this campus. She kept us all going and helped the teachers, the kids she's just she's a wonderful lady. So that's about it.